With the upcoming release of Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, I thought I would make my first YouTube video on this channel about my experience growing up with the original version, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life was released in North America in 2004. It was developed and published by Marvelous Interactive. In case you didn't know, the creators behind the original Harvest Moon games now have their games under the name Story of Seasons. Harvest Moon 3D A New Beginning was the last game by Marvelous, published under the name Harvest Moon. Story of Seasons was their first venture under their new name in 2014 for the Japanese release of the game. Marvelous has since remade Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town, which originally released for the Game Boy Advance in 2003. A Wonderful Life will be their second remake of their original games. I grew up playing video games. My first ever handheld was the Game Boy Advance, and my first ever console was the GameCube. I vividly remember going to Target with my mom and seeing Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life on the shelf and asking for it. I was around 5 or 6 years old at the time and kept having to ask my parents for help reading the dialogue in the game because I couldn't read all of the words yet. The game taught me more than I realized at the time. I learned how to read more advanced words, the very basics of farming, and even learned about friendship. A Wonderful Life is a dynamic game in that the world changes around you, and you, the player, also change with time. Characters age and there is even death in this game. You get to get married and have a child that you watch grow up. I remember really getting into the game as a child and feeling like I was responsible for raising a child and raising animals. I did not do much farming at all during most of the game, and I don't think I planted anything except for an apple tree for my first playthrough as a child. It didn't matter how much money I made in game because I was content enough to just traverse through the small town on my horse and talk to the characters in the town. It felt like I really knew these characters and cared about them, even when they repeated the same dialogue to me over and over again. I grew to care about the townspeople and enjoyed talking to them every day and giving them presents. I would take my child around town and show him to the different characters, usually getting an interesting interaction out of it. Looking back on the game now, its graphics mostly hold up to the tale of time. Even some of the gameplay holds up, but more important than that, the nostalgia is there. When I think about A Wonderful Life, I remember being a child that was excited to get home from school and rush into my room to start my GameCube up. I remember not having a care in the world besides what time my farmer was going to wake up in the morning and who I could talk to next in Forget Me Not Valley. While A Wonderful Life was not the first Harvest Moon game I played, it was the most memorable. I'll never forget the times I had playing this game, and I'm looking forward to the remake. Hopefully Marvelous will continue to remake previous Harvest Moon games and continue to make original Story of Seasons games. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please leave a like or a comment letting me know what else you want to see. I used to have a gaming channel when I was younger, and I'm giving it another go now that I'm older. I also have another channel where I talk about personal, non-gaming related life experiences that I'll link in the description box below if anyone wants to check that out. Thanks for watching.